If you ain't a gator, you must be gator bait. If you ain't a gator, you must be gator bait.
Welcome back and welcome in to another episode of If You Ain't a Gator, a part of the Stadium and Gale Network. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me, kick it with me tonight. We got a lot to talk about. We got absolutely smacked in the swamp. I don't even know if that's the correct word to use. That was just disgusting display of football. We are going to talk about, obviously, Lane Kiffin's choice and decision on Saturday, and then we play them nasty boys FSWho on Saturday, and we'll touch on that a bit too. Coming to you from Comedy Central. Jumping right in and just kind of touching on I'm just going to call it the Tennessee Volunteer game, because I don't think that the Florida Gators showed up. It was absolutely the worst football game I've ever watched the Florida Gators play. And I watched Florida lose their streak to Kentucky. I watched Florida lose to Georgia Southern. I don't think I've missed a game of a Florida Gators football game since I was like 7 years old. It was the most disgusting display of football that we could put out there. I will say, if you heard me talk about it last week's show, I said we seem to go up and then we go down, and then we go up and then we go down. The one good thing I guess you can say from this is hopefully, if that stays true, that our up is going to be our last game of the season against who we all for sure want to beat. To watch our team go out there and this defense that has played lights out. I mean, they have played stellar all year long. Go out there and just get walked down. I mean, they just moved the ball at any point they wanted to. They were just moving the ball down the field. It was disgusting. And my problem with it is that I watched USF be able to move the ball on us, and that's just a higher power, faster form of that football. It's just, I expected us to put up a little bit more of a fight, and there was none. Absolutely none. I was 10 years old the last time that the Florida Gators lost in the swamp to the Tennessee Volunteers. And you not only lost, there's just no way. There is absolutely no way that those players walked into that locker room and left that locker room and did not feel embarrassed. There's just no way. It makes no sense. It's just, this is the piss poor attitude and the piss poor football that is just uncalled for. I mean, I get it. You don't have your head coach there. He got fired, whatever. But for you to not even put up a fight, and if you did put up a fight, there's a problem. There is a massive, massive, massive problem. I mean, they had 190 yards to our 1 yard at one point. One. I don't know what that was. Zero idea what that was. The biggest thing that I see is that they just ran crosser routes the whole entire game. Crosser routes. Their running back is just running up the gut. I mean, those are like the two things they ran, and I'm like, how are we not stopping this? And everybody looked like they were just like, well, we'll get it. We'll tackle when we get to them. We're not going to try to cover. We're not going to do this. You got, obviously, Cormani gets hurt, but it's just players just not playing. They did not care whatsoever. It is disgusting. Bryce Thornton doesn't play, and you got times that Lagonza Hayward looked, absolutely lost. And you know what? It's fine. He's a true freshman. He hasn't got a lot of play time, but I'm watching that game. I'm like, and I looked at my wife and I'm like, I'm actually embarrassed. Like, I'm genuinely embarrassed to be a Gators fan right now. This is insane. And, and this is one thing I can't, and I will never, ever, ever stand, behind this or beside this or whatever. I will never stand for it, is when you are losing by multiple scores and you get a big run, aka Lagway. The other team misses a field goal and you're unloading the clip like Tyreek Sapp. And it's like, no, bro, sit down. Like, you are getting smacked right now. You do not have I don't care if you get a touchdown. I don't care if you get a pass breakup. I do not care. Sit down, go move somewhere else. You better just get up and do what Jaden Ball did when he scored a touchdown. Score, hand the ball to the ref, and go back to the sideline. Or go back to the huddle and get ready for the next play. That is embarrassing. Like, straight up embarrassing. I can't stand for it. DJ looks lost out there. Absolutely lost. I don't know what it is. I honestly, I don't know if it's the yips and he just needs this offseason, or if this QB coach that he has is just that bad that he is just constantly going down. I mean, it's been pointed out by people that his fundamentals aren't there. He doesn't set his feet. His footwork is all off when he's throwing the ball. I mean, he's just throwing it from all kinds of different angles. I don't understand. I just can't. I'm frustrated now because there's been plenty of days now to digest this, and I'm still frustrated. Still frustrated. It felt weird to be playing, Tennessee this late in the season, but I mean, no matter what, I don't care who your coach is. You're still playing football. At the end of the day, you care about football. At the end of the day, you got to guard the man in front of you, or you got to get away from the man in front of you, try to get open and get away from that defensive player, whatever it is. That's the whole point behind football. I don't care who the coach is. The point of it is when you're on defense, see ball, get ball, cover your man. On offense, get away from who's trying to cover you and score a touchdown. It's very simple. I mean, that is the way you can define football to a 4-year-old. And I just cannot understand how you can go out there and you can get embarrassed like that. And it just seemed like nobody cared whatsoever. And so that's just coming from a passionate standpoint. It's frustrating to watch this. And man, I hope, I'll be honest with you, I don't know who the next head coach is going to be, but there is just absolutely no way that it can be worse than what's happening right now. Man, I hope not, because this is embarrassing. Yeah, we'll touch on that on the FSWho game here in a little bit. Golly, we better not go out there and look like this against them. Not against them. There's no way Billy G can let these boys go out there and look like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just like the crosser routes, and nobody can cover it. They did what they wanted across the middle. That's what we talked about last week. That's what Ole Miss did. Diced up the middle. And it's like, Ron, do you not have a defensive scheme to cover that? Force them to get outside of their game plan. No, the whole game. Shoom, 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 crossers, the whole game. Run up the middle, run up the middle. Like, you can't stop that? I don't understand. To figure something out, I mean, Google it while you're up there. Figure out a way to stop that. I just can't. I don't get it. And it's crazy to think about the play calls that was called on Saturday. That it's like, maybe now we understand why Napier was calling plays, because he was the smartest play caller in the room. And that's a massive, massive problem. A massive problem that he's the smartest play caller in the room. That's why we are where we are. These guys have zero idea what they're doing. I mean, if these guys stay and we do get some type of play caller like Lane Kiffin, I mean, they're going to be mind blown, honestly. Mind blown by the difference. Yeah. Yeah, there's no fight. There's no type of self-discipline. You get embarrassed. And I know that Dallas Wilson didn't play, but you got him on the internet all over the place. You got all these guys all over the internet. I can't stand. That's one thing another thing with even outside of the celebrating stuff. I can't stand when you go and you take a loss and then you go look on Instagram and these players are posting pictures of them in the game. Like, bro, nobody cares. Nobody cares, bro. You just got smacked by 3 to 4 scores. No one cares about your score. No one. You got embarrassed, bro. You are the laughing stock. You turn on ESPN tomorrow and they talk about that game, they're going to be laughing at you guys while you're posting your picture of your one play that you might have had. One play and you thought it looked cool. Like, come on, man. I just can't stand behind it. I can't. It's so frustrating to watch this team play this way. Again, I've been watching this team for so long now, and to watch them get embarrassed like this, it is just gut-wrenching to watch. Absolutely gut-wrenching. Yeah, I thought we were going to get shout out too. Shout out to the Gators figuring out a way to keep the scoring streak alive. I guess that's something we cheer about. At that point, I figured that's the lowest of low. Let's just go ahead and lose that streak too while we're at it. Let's just reset everything while we can. And yeah, Lagway's missing 5-yard crossing routes because he's throwing the football a million miles per hour when they're coming across the middle. Or when he's throwing it, he's panicking, he's throwing it into the dirt. It doesn't make sense. Like, he is lost. Truly, truly lost. And honestly, I don't know what the contract was with them, with the University of Florida and with Lagway. None of that. And he can say, like, yeah, I'm a Gator, whatever the case may be. Well, then you better figure it out this offseason. And then whoever the next coach is that comes in, you better impress them very much so. Because I hope whoever that next coach is, I hope and pray that it is a open quarterback competition. That's the one thing I want. I want the best player on that field at every position. I'm tired of seniority and these players that either came with Billy Napier or that he created a bond with him and that they get to stay on the field because they have that favoritism and that. No. If you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing and you are costing us a game, aka DJ Lagway, aka Jordan Castell, you got these different players who are costing us the whole entire offensive line. The offensive line looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. I can't. I told you I'll get passionate once a week. There's a segment I talk about and I get absolutely passionate about. But yeah, the team just looks so unorganized. And you can't knock Vernell Brown, right? He's out there just flying around. You can tell he's not 100%. I don't know if y'all could tell, but I could tell that he was not 100% out there. You could tell he was doing everything he could, and I'm hoping and praying that he is good enough to go for Florida State this week, and that he knows that, hey, no bowl game. Let's just go out here and let's go all out for this because this is what this rivalry is. His dad's taught him it. Same with Miles Graham. I hope Miles Graham just sees red the whole game. The whole entire game. Do not let them boys come and plant that flag on our logo. Can't do it. Do not let them tear up our field. Like, I'll be sick to my stomach. Like, go and ruin their bowl game chances. You already know Norvell's staying, so go ahead and make it, just add salt to the wound. But yeah, I don't even have anything truly. I do not have anything to say about this Florida-Tennessee game. I could not believe what I was watching. I couldn't. I'm sitting there on my couch watching this game, and I'm like, what is this? Like, there is no way that this is a Florida Gators football team. Like, I get that we've had some off years, but we've never had this. Never. So something's got to be figured out. And you got to figure it out this week. I don't know what you throw at them. I don't know if you run Jaden Ball 114 times on Saturday, but whatever you do, you got to figure it out. Do not let FSU come in and beat you guys in the swamp. That's all I ask for. Aguilar didn't even do a whole lot of running. He just kind of stood in the pocket. No real pressure on him. He just kind of, drop back, 4 or 5 step drop back, and then shoop over the middle. The whole entire game. And now, you look at the USF game. If you think that FSU isn't paying attention to that USF game with their quarterback running wherever he wanted, I mean, TC is going to run like crazy on us. So we'll just kind of transition into the Florida State, and then we'll touch on the Lane Kiffin stuff and just kind of the betting odds. Going into the Florida State game, watching them play throughout this year and obviously watching us play, we got to set the edges. You cannot let TC get loose and run. He's too fast, and our team does not tackle. Like, it's just, you look at the 3rd and 17 against Tennessee. They not only picked up the first down, he almost scored a touchdown. He's 1 yard away from a touchdown. You have to wrap up and tackle. I don't care what you do. Just wrap your arms around him. Stop trying to do like Jordan Castell did and come up and shoulder pop him to try to get that sexy hit, get that highlight hit. No, bro. You're getting embarrassed because you're not strong enough. You're not doing anything. And FSU will embarrass you. TC will run past you. He'll run for 35, 40 yards on you, and he will tear you apart until you are breathing out of your mouth. And then he's going to chuck it down the field to Deuce Robinson. You know what their game plan is. RPO, send Deuce Robinson deep, throw it up to him because he's 7'8". And we aren't going to have any but Devin Moore, who I raved about in the offseason. He can't cover nobody. I mean, he looks absolutely lost out there. To say that he was going to be a top pick in the NFL draft, no. I mean, Devin Moore better figure out how to get physical on Saturday, because if not, TC and Deuce Robinson are going to just sling that thing around that field on us, and TC is going to run the whole time. Well, yeah, he's a bad quarterback throwing, but the difference is that when he gets running, that's when his arm gets dangerous, because he can put it down there. But man, you got to look for that. They got a great running back over there, and they're going to utilize him. They're going to run him up the gut. I would be led to believe that he's a better running back than Tennessee's running back. So they're going to run it up the gut on you. You got to be there. You got to be ready. I'm hoping that Caleb Banks is good and that he's ready to defend that middle, and he's all getting embarrassed. I've seen talks and chatter that maybe Gums could come back. I don't know if that's going to happen after having surgery. But the biggest thing is, I get that Billy G loves to say, oh, play for the patch. Play for the patch. No. This week it's defend the swamp. That's it. Defend that. Play for the patch. Play for that logo. Defend that logo in the middle of that field. Because if they do it, if they beat us, they are going to go plant that flag on there. I'm telling you. And no Gators fan can get mad. We were sharing it all over the place on social media. And can't get mad. It's gonna make me sick to my stomach to watch it, but they are not any better than us. They just play in a way easier conference. Figure out a way to disrupt them, get the lead, because Gus Malzahn cannot coach from behind. That has been shown throughout this year. Against Pitt, they couldn't figure it out. Lagway running up the middle, he's got it. I don't know what the O-line does, but they figure out a way to just part the Red Seas, and he goes flying through it. But stop lining up in shotgun. You got your dominant foot back, almost like you're ready. Like you're showing them, yo, I'm about to run. I'm ready to take the snap. Like the way you're looking, everything that you're showing, your body language, everything that you're showing is showing I'm going to run right now. When you take the snap, drop back, you're locked and loaded, QB draw. Okay, now you're selling it. Boom. O-line separates them, run up the gut. We need to figure that out. It's a last game. Put your bodies on the line and do not go get embarrassed on this last game. Can't do it. Cannot do it, man. So I want to see us take shots deep. I have seen FSU gets caught slipping deep. Hit them over the middle. You have to force them, go out there, stop them early. I'd love to see us get ball at half, go out there, stop them early. Let's take the lead, and let's have the crowd be loud. I know it's not a night game, but it's a 4:30 game. It's going to be getting dark around 4:45, but you got to get the lead. I'm telling you, Gus does not know what to do. Ron Roberts needs to get in his bag and do whatever he can, because I guarantee they're going to try to hit Deuce in the middle. They're going to see what USF did, and TC is way faster than any quarterback we've played this year. But figure it out and defend the swamp. It's all. It's the only thing I ask. Do not let these boys come in here and beat y'all. Like, I can't. And I hope that Gators fans show up, the way that they did last week. I was super proud of Gator Nation. No matter what, Lane or no Lane, whoever the next coach is, has to look at that and go, man, this is a 3-win team who is broken and doesn't see any type of anything in the future. Like right now, there's no bowl game to look forward to. Obviously, no playoffs. There's nothing but just let me get to the offseason. This is embarrassing. Go out there and put everything on the line. Please, please, please put everything on the line. I will say, we'll kind of dive into this, but it's kind of discussing with the game. I do think one thing that could get everybody hyped up, transitioning into the Lane Kiffin talk. And I know it's always Lane Kiffin show around here, I guess. If it is announced and we are the decision and Lane decides to pick us and that's going to be our head coach moving forward, I do think that is going to light a fire under Gator Nation. I think it's going to light a fire under these players because a lot of these players have expressed how much they like Lane and like his offense and like just his style of play. I want to see if that's going to be our coach. I really, really do hope that it is announced before 4:30. I don't care if you announce it at 4:15 or 4:20, so that thing can come across the big screen there. I mean, light a fire into that place. Could you imagine that? 4:15, 4:20, right before kickoff, they go ahead and, especially against our rival, and then boom, pops up there. Breaking news. Lane Kiffin announces as Florida Gators' next head coach. I mean, that place would come unglued. Truly imagine that. Like, it's crazy even thinking about that. I would love to even just hear that place if that was to be announced. But regardless, if it's announced before that time, it's still, that place is going to be a rowdy, rowdy, rowdy place. So diving into that, we know that Keith Carter, Ole Miss's athletic director, met with Lane and said that this past Friday, met with Lane, and he put out a statement after that basically said that, hey, we had a great conversation. We've had great conversations. And Lane is going to coach us in the Egg Bowl. And then the Saturday following the Egg Bowl, he's going to make his decision. I have zero idea how this is going to play out. I mean, truly, just looking at this from an outside perspective and not having a single clue as to what he's thinking or not hearing anything, who knows? I mean, it would not shock me if he has told Florida, hey, I'm coming, telling LSU, hey, I'm coming, and telling Ole Miss, hey, I'm staying. Like, it wouldn't shock me. And I don't think it's that he's trolling. I know a lot of people keep saying that. A lot of people are like, oh, he's just doing the ultimate troll. He's doing a troll. I don't think that he's trolling. I think that he truly is torn. I do think he loves Ole Miss, and I think that he cares about that place. I think part of him sees that like, hey, I love the University of Florida. It's a special place to me. It's a special place for my family. It's just special overall. There's a lot of ties there. And then again, you can't knock it as much as we don't like LSU. LSU is still a top tier job. I don't know. Me personally, I'm not going to go there with all the Brian Kelly, stuff coming out right now, especially the fact that they're trying not to pay Brian Kelly, the fact that they stole from a children's hospital to be able to get money. Like, I just could not, with me personally. I don't know what Lane's like. I don't know what any other coach that wants to go there. I'm personally not doing that. I can't. My conscience can't do that. Can't do it. So I just don't see LSU and Lane being a fit, personally. If I had to guess, and this is just a guess, and who knows if I'm wrong, if I'm right, whatever, I don't really care at this point. I would say I think it's between us and Ole Miss. I think that it's him deciding, do I want to stay at Ole Miss or do I want to go to Florida? Because obviously they're saying that all three are offering the same. I think that he knows that the Florida's talent is just, it oozes from everywhere in the state. I mean, literally you can go anywhere and find 5 stars. And just blue chip players. But I think the great thing about this is, and I just hope that nothing gets screwed up, that nothing gets turned around or wordplay was different. Like, I'm just hoping that all of this ends on Saturday or Friday. Just something. Friday night, Saturday, just let's end it and let's figure out where we're going to go with our coach, because I feel like whenever we find out what Lane is doing, whether Lane's coming or he's staying or he's going to LSU, then we can either move forward with him or we can move on without him and go to whoever coach number 2, 3, whatever is. But I obviously would love to have him here. I've went on record saying it. I've said it every week for the last month and a half. But I think it's good that an ultimatum is put on him, whether he wants to say, oh, an ultimatum or not. It's good that something is put on him, because I think he would let this last all the way through the playoffs and not say anything. Whereas you're screwing over 3 universities. 2, okay, yeah, if you want to screw over 2 of them, whatever, it is what it is. But screwing over the one that you're at right now, and it's like, if you do say that you actually care about those people, and then this is how you're reacting, and this is how you're doing it, like, that don't sit well. I don't really like that. So let's just go ahead and get it on the table. Let's be grown adults about this. Decide what you want to do. If coaching, if say, just for example, if Ole Miss is not going to let you coach the playoffs if you leave, if that's the case, then you need to make a decision. Do I want to sign this extension with Ole Miss, which I'm going to guess if he's going to sign an extension with Ole Miss, I'm going to guess that a buyout for a team to come after him, like say next year, next 2 years, whatever, is going to be crazy high. And I think that might be a part of what's bothering him, because I think that he might have waited one more year and just like, whatever, like someone else will open up. But this is your shot. This is your shot at Florida. I don't think you get another chance after this. But when it comes to making a choice, it's like, all right, man, it's time to put on your big boy britches and let's figure this out. Let's put it out there. Either you're going to stay at Ole Miss, and if coaching the playoffs means that you have to sign that extension and you have to just stay at Ole Miss, then so be it. If you have to give up coaching the playoffs because Ole Miss won't let you, because it has been said that, from what I've been reading, that Florida is willing to let them coach the playoffs. Apparently LSU is willing to let them coach the playoffs. So if that falls on Ole Miss, then that's up to you. That's up to you, bro. You make that decision and you decide what you're going to do. Friday night, Saturday, let's just wrap it up. It's done. Like, we got to be grown adults about this at some point. We cannot be acting like children anymore. Let me see. This says LSU and Lane Kiffin. Scary situation. Football and Florida talent. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, that's what's crazy, man, is I feel like the Gators get pushed below, that Florida gets pushed below LSU because of like, oh, LSU doesn't have to compete with anybody in the state for talent. Well, we have more overall talent here. So when it comes to that, you can go get talent here. If you have money, you can go get whoever you want here, because they don't want to go too far. At least not all of them. Yes, some are prone to leave. They just want to get out of Florida. That's fine. But as for Florida and LSU, I'm not saying that LSU is a worse job. Actually, I am. I'm going to take that back. I think that the situation that LSU is in right now, it does put them a notch or two below us. That's just how I feel about it. You got legal allegations going on over there. They're fighting with a coach they just fired, or apparently didn't fire, or whatever the whole shindig is there with the Brian Kelly situation. You know, they say, oh, we didn't formally fire him. He's saying they did. You got his son out there, you know, basically protesting for him on senior night. Like, this is a mess, an absolute mess. So Florida at least has their ducks in a row, you know, readjusting different things in the front office and just making things happen to care more about football. So, all right, Lane, now's your chance. If you want to go there, where obviously right now they're not wanting to pay a buyout, and your buyout is going to be ridiculous. You know, they want to say, oh, well, look, Florida has fired this coach and this coach in this amount of time because they didn't succeed. Okay. What did Brian Kelly just do? What did Brian Kelly just do? And he gets fired for it. You know, I don't agree with what the media is putting out there. It don't make sense. I don't understand the Florida hate, I guess. Like, I really don't. It's not like we went on an Alabama run for freaking winning all those championships with like a Nick Saban. Yeah, we won a couple with Urban Meyer, won one in 96 with Spurrier, but it's not like we won 7 with freaking Urban Meyer and everybody hated us. And I just can't wrap my head around it. Can't. And so the national media is trying to push something that I can't understand in the support for a university that does not want to honor what they said. There was a contract laid out, and now they didn't like what happened, and now they're wanting to spend more money on a coach. They're trying to argue over this $53 million because they don't want to pay it. So they're like, we have this, this, and this against him. If that's true, okay, fine. But the fact is that they're having to use that, whereas Florida just fired their coach, who was terrible, who did not match the Gator way at all, did not fit in. He's a Sun Belt coach that it didn't make sense. And then now you go and what do? Hey, we're letting you go. Here's your $10 million up front. We promised you that. There you go. Oh, the rest of it is over this time period. Here you go. No argument, no legal actions, none of that. It's going to get paid, and he's going to go about his way. We're going to go about our way. Whereas LSU goes, well, we were supposed to win the national championship this year. We brought in all these players from the portal, and it didn't work out. And so now, well, we got this and this against Brian Kelly. What? Like, no, now you got something against Brian Kelly. Now that stuff that he did was bad. Now where you were turning a blind eye to whatever it was, now you want to come out and say something? That's what I'd love to hear them say. Oh, well, we found this out about him 2 years ago. So why didn't you do something then? You just found this out within the week? You own the $53 million just within a week you found out stuff about him? Come on. Why didn't you step in and do something? Now it's a problem because you have to pay all that money. I don't want to hear that LSU and Florida are the same job right now because they're not. Offering the same money, offering the same packages for the NIL in a state just oozing with talent. I do not want to hear they're the same job. They're not. Point blank, period. And I'm going to point something out here too. If you watched Lane on Pat McAfee, when he talked about Florida, which obviously in that moment, Florida is obviously a job that's been talking to him. He's interested. All he could talk about was just beating Florida that weekend. That's fine. They just played them. So he talked about it a little bit. But what does he do when he talks about LSU? He talks about being, a couple games away from being fired. And he goes, just like Brian Kelly at LSU. He calls out LSU. He calls them out about them firing a coach who just had a winning season last year, winning 10 games. And then you come to this year. It makes no sense. It makes zero sense to me. But hopefully all of this stuff will be wrapped up and put a bow on it, and we figure out if we got the guy that we wanted and got getting the guy that we're going after, or if we're going to go back to the drawing board, or if Turnkey has already found a guy. Like, hey, this is who number 2 is. If Lane does not come, this is number 2. Lincoln Riley, I don't know who it's going to be. I've heard different names. But whoever it may be, I think Turnkey has them there. But I'm hoping that because of, early National Signing Day being next week, I'm hoping we can get it figured out quick so that coach can get on the phone and get it going really, really fast. The funny thing is, if FSU became open, it would be a big job. I agree. I do think that FSU would be a big job, but FSU would not compare to the Florida job. It wouldn't compare to the LSU job. It just wouldn't be up there. Not with those. I think it'd probably be in the range of the Penn State. So it could be number 3, and it's 3A, 3B, and they're the same there. But LSU and Florida is still going to be those top jobs. The only reason that if LSU had all their ducks in a row, I would say, okay, yeah, those two are match. And that might be me with my orange and blue goggles on. It might be. But again, I actually think, let me take that back real quick. I think with everything that's going on with the LSU, I don't see how you could put, if FSU did come open, I don't know how you don't put LSU at number 4. Why, as a head coach, do you want to go coach at a place like that who is trying to get out of paying that? It makes no sense. If they're trying to find dirt on him, that's like having someone cheat on you and then, that person, or that person cheated on somebody else, and then they come with you and they're like, I'd never do that to you. Come on, bro. Like, come on. Makes no sense. That job makes zero sense to me that anybody in their right mind, and maybe Lane is just that crazy that he just looks at it and goes, I don't care what they're going to do to me. I just see that NIL package, and that's what I want. But if we're offering the same thing, I just don't understand how you pick LSU over Florida. I don't get it. I can't wrap my head around it whatsoever. And if you guys got something, like if you guys have a better opinion on me than that, where you think that LSU is a better job, like I'm open to listen. Type in the comments. I'd love to listen, but I just don't see it. Don't see it. I can't get behind, think of yourself, right? Think of you are applying for a job or you have a job that's presented to you. And that boss that's presenting that job to you just got rid of the person who that position you're going to take. And that person is outright saying, like, yo, I can't find another job because they're running my name through the dirt. They're saying I'm doing this. And they don't want to pay me the money that they just said that they're going to pay me, that we both signed on a dotted line and said that this is going to happen, but they're going to make me fight for this in court. It makes no sense to me how the national media can look at that and push that. Everyone, like so many of them. And they're all, Florida's forgotten about. Florida got ghosted. Florida this. Okay, well, let's just see. Maybe we did. Maybe we did get ghosted. Maybe that's the case. Maybe Jimmy Sexton used us to get him that LSU job, and maybe we get left in the dust. Who knows? And we're the laughing stock on Saturday. Maybe. We'll see. Or maybe LSU got used, and Florida's the choice. Who knows? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you anything about it. I wish that I could just be a fly in the room for some of these conversations just to have an idea. Because it is just absolutely mind-blowing how this is just blown up into a circus. Truly. Like, it's blown up into a circus. It's one of the craziest. I've been through quite a few of these coaching searches, and I've never seen one like this. Even looking at previous jobs that are looking for coaches, like even when the Gators aren't, just every year, someone gets fired and a position opens up, and then when it opens up, they go look for a coach. And I've never seen something like this. I will say I am very, very, very thankful that the Gators and the Gators beat writers, just everybody that's on the Gators media team has stayed very quiet. You haven't seen them be loud. You haven't seen them be obnoxious. I haven't seen any of our writers or anybody who writes for the Florida Gators, either 247, On3. I have not seen anybody go on Twitter and say, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Lane is coming to Florida. And then you got LSU writers on there. It's a done deal. This is happening. Lane signed. I've seen them say Lane has signed for 12 days in a row now. Like, what are we doing here? These guys are just so loud and obnoxious. And, I thought that the Ole Miss fans were annoying, but golly, them LSU fans came in here with all six of their teeth and just started being loud and obnoxious as possible. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Again, we'll find out Saturday. I hope that I get to go live. I hope I get to see you guys on Saturday, or you guys get to see me in my ugly mug. But I want to be live on Saturday because that's our coach. I don't like the way he's went about this stuff, but in the same sense, I kind of get it. He wanted to coach. He wants to coach through the playoffs. I think he's been trying to just hang on by a thread for every second that he can. And I think that Ole Miss finally hit their breaking point and came to him and said, hey, we will give you until the Egg Bowl, and that is it. Like, after that, it's done. You give us an answer, yes or no, and then we'll see. Like, if he says no, I'm not coming back. I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to go to LSU. Whatever he says, then we'll see. I want to see if Ole Miss has the cojones to tell him he's not going to coach the playoffs. I just want to see, because if they do, shout out to him. I mean, you stood on business if you are. Do I think that he should be able to coach it? Yeah, why not? Even if he chooses Florida, sure. I'd like to have them have something signed that says, hey, let's work this out with Ole Miss, that we're going to allow you, you can come sign with us, but we're going to allow you to coach the playoffs and everything. But I want to see something signed, point blank. But I just don't know. I want to see if Ole Miss stands on it. They basically have come out and said their media has come out and said that, hey, if he chooses somewhere else, he is not going to be coaching in the playoffs. Let's see if you got it. I want to see if you got it in you. Let's see. Point blank period. I know that I'll be finding out because if he does become our coach, everyone's going to be on Twitter waiting for me to go get the tattoo. And then if not, I see all the bookmarks on the tweet about the tattoo. Ole Miss fans are going to be all in there. And watch, Ole Miss fans are going to be all in our mentions, whether it's Ole Miss or LSU. I've never seen a rival, two rival teams gang up like those two have. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, this is going to be a short one. It's just, it's hard, like I said, this is just difficult, man. And I feel like it's just, we got to see where this is going to go. We got to finally find out who this coach is going to be for next season. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's see what players are going to leave, and let's see what players are going to stay. And honestly, let's just see what players we're going to get in the transfer portal. I think whatever coach comes in, I think he's going to want to grab some of his own guys from whatever school he comes from. And not only that, I think he's going to want to go into the transfer portal and get some people so we can get jump started. This isn't going to be a, I guess, 8 to 9 year thing like Billy Napier expected it to be, because we were just real close, just real close to being explosive. Doesn't make any sense to me. But sorry, this is a shorter one. I normally go for about an hour or so. It's just I want to get on here, hang out with you guys, and again, either way, I'm sure either Saturday or Sunday, you guys will see me go live, and we'll see who our coach is going to be. Let's just hope and pray that it's going to be Lane Kiffin. I think that he could bring a energy to this stadium. And I'm going to stand on this. I'm going to say this, mark my words. If Lane Kiffin is the head coach of the University of Florida, I will guarantee that the Orange and Blue game has more people in attendance for that than Ole Miss had in attendance when they played us. Guarantee it. We will have 69,000 plus in that, in there. I will guarantee it. Everybody is going to be hyped and ready to go. And I know Lane has to see that Tennessee going a 3-win team going against Tennessee, and we packed that place out. Shout out to Gator Nation for that, truly. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You can become a member now. That's in here. Got the link for the merch. I will say this too. Be on the lookout. If Lane Kiffin becomes the head coach of the University of Florida, I got 2 shirts that are coming. I think that you guys are going to like. We'll see. I like them. So I'm not going to show them yet. I don't want to jinx it, but we'll see what's going to happen. They will be posted. I will have them posted and ready to go as soon as a contract is announced. I'm not going to just take he's going to be the head coach. No, I need to know a contract is signed. Once that's there, boom, they're going to be up on the site. And I think you guys are going to, one's pretty funny, one's pretty cool. So be on the lookout for that. Smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It helps us out. Hitting the like button, it really boosts us up in the YouTube algorithm and gets other people to be able to check this out. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Comment some more. If you have more to say, comment on this once the video is posted. But you guys know how we end it here. If you ain't a Gator, y'all know the rest.